Hi guys, my name's Craig. Welcome to Small Farmer Life. Well, as you can see, I'm back in the studio. The weather's turned, so don't have to wrap up like a woolly bear. And I'll be making a lot more videos in the coming weeks and months inside the studio and also around the farm. Now, if you've subscribed to the channel, you'll have already seen this couple of shorts videos. I've been pulling stock fencing. I've also lined the ponds down the bottom of the field. I'll show that in an upcoming video. And if you haven't subscribed, then if you're interested in small farming, think about hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, Living a Small Farmer Life, the link's in the description. Nip over there, join the group, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're interested in starting a small farm from scratch, and you eventually want to live on that small farm or small holding, then you're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops to do it. Now, this channel is about getting people to start a small farm from scratch and helping people get the right to live on that small farm. Now, to do that, I'm going to need a lot of help from people, and that is just by signing a petition, and I'll lobby the housing minister myself. But it can either be one voice, which is mine, or it can be all of our voices, and the louder the voice, well, the more they're going to have to listen. Now, if you hear any funny noises coming from this video, that's a quails in the corner. But like I say, guys, hit that subscribe button and go over and join the Facebook group. It's linked in the description, and I hope to see you here more often. Now, people are asking me in the comment section of a lot of videos, and also PM messaging me through Facebook and sending me lots of emails. You'd be surprised how many emails I get and how many private messages I get. Now, they're asking me how they get the right to build a home on agricultural land without starting a small farming business. Now, I can tell you straight away, out the gate, it is nigh on impossible to get planning permission on a piece of agricultural land outside the development boundary of your town. So, if you're living in a town, well, you'll have a development boundary around that town. And if you're outside of that development boundary, well, trying to get planning permission, then it's really hard, and it's going to take you years, and it's going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds, and that's if you manage to get it. Now, I'll tell you what type of houses might be able to get planning permission, but if you're looking for a bare piece of land to actually get the right to build a home on, you're best off starting to look in the boundary of your actual town. So look on your council's website and look for the development boundary of the town. It has a map and it'll show you where the boundary is. Now, depending on the size of your town, it'll depend on how many open pieces of land is inside the development boundary of that town. But who are you going to be up against? You're going to be up against other developers, because other developers are willing to pay a lot more money for that land than you are. And if you just want to build one home on, let's say, 2 to 3 acres of land inside the development boundary of your town, it's going to be a lot harder to get planning permission for one home than it would be to get planning permission for, say, 100 homes. Because the council would rather see that land used for a lot more housing than just one house that you might want to build. So the developers are going to pay more for it, and the council aren't going to back you. Now, I know this because there's a little town up the road, I'd call it more of a village, and one guy wanted to build a home on his piece of land. Now, I read all the planning applications that go in around my town, and he had been in this village for around about 10 years. He'd had this piece of land, and he started like a little garden centre up thing, and people were buying flowers and all that sort of thing from this guy. The full village supported him. He had hundreds of support letters going in to the council, and they rejected him. They said the village should keep its own characteristics. So if he built a house on there, then that would look out of place. But just after that, they granted planning permission for 20 houses on one side of the village and planning permission for 40 houses on the other side of the village. So that just shows you the more willing to grant planning permission for a lot of houses than they are for just one house. But there is houses that they will grant planning permission for on agricultural land, and that is grand design type of homes. And when I mean grand design type of homes, I'm not talking about a mansion. I'm talking about a home that might be self-sustainable, an eco-friendly type of home, you know, something that eats its own water, it collects its own water, filters its own water, the roof heats the actual home, that sort of thing. Because councils do like to support different types of construction in the town, and you might get featured in a magazine. Now, you can build these homes yourself. You've seen it on the programme Grand Designs, where a guy has purchased a piece of land and started to build a home on his own. It might have taken him 5 years or so, but it's been featured on Grand Designs. That brings publicity to your town, and your councils love that sort of thing. Now, if you want to build a house like that, I would say get the planning officer out to that actual piece of land, ask them what they would like to see. Is there any type of building that they would like to support on that piece of land? Because if you're thinking about building a home that you see getting built across the way from me, just a box home, a standard 3-bedroom home, which are little tiny things, you're not going to have the chance to build it. I'm just being honest with you. It's really hard to get planning permission, and nigh on impossible when you're outside the development boundary without starting a small farming business. But I think everybody should have the right to start a small holding, grow your own food, and raise some animals and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of people out there in this day and age working, stressed out of the max, the mental health's not that good, they're eating terrible food, so they're unhealthy in that way, and they're not getting any exercise. But the government are telling us to eat healthy food, get plenty of exercise, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But if you want to start your own small holding, which will give you all of that, breathing fresh air, plenty of exercise, you know, out and about, doing other things, getting away from the rat race, your mental health will get better, you'll feel better in yourself, you'll see your grandkids running around fields and all that sort of thing. They won't let you do it, or they'll make you jump through so many hoops and spend so much money that it just grinds on you to the point where people get disheartened and give up. Now, I would always suggest never give up, just keep pushing. But I understand there's a lot of people out there who haven't got that in them, and I would honestly say to you guys, keep going, because you will get there, but only time will tell. And the only way you're going to do it is if you pick yourself up, keep going, and don't give in when the council are telling you that you can't live there. Just go for it. Like I say in other videos, get rid of your house, move on the piece of land. Let them get you off the piece of land. It looks no good to them, and they have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds in court cases trying to get people off land. So it's easier to stop you from getting on the land than it is for them to get you off the land. So honestly, guys, if you're going to start a small farm or you want to start a small holding, purchase that piece of agricultural land. Make sure the covenants in it, if there is any covenants, don't stop you from building a home. Make sure there's no clawbacks on there, and just start your small farm or your small holding, move on it, and then just fight the council all the way. And honestly, do it yourself. Don't pay planning consultants. You can find all the information you want online. I've never paid a planning consultant a penny. They wanted £5,000 from me for one application. I can speak myself. I went to a committee meeting, so it doesn't bother me. But for all them people who keep asking me, how do you get the right to build a home on a piece of agricultural land or a bare piece of farmland, you just can't. It's impossible. Unless, you know, the councillors and so much shady's going on, because I've never known it to happen unless you're building a lot of homes and you're inside the development boundary of a town. So, like I say, guys, if you're into small farming, you like small farming, and you're thinking about starting a small farm in the future or a small holding, hit the subscribe button and go over and join the Facebook group, Living the Small Farmer Life. And if you want any questions answered, leave them in the comment section of the video and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, guys, my name's Craig. You've been watching The Small Farmer Life. Make sure you take care of yourself and most of all, take care of the family. Bye for now. See ya.